I present to you my top 10 architectural visualization studios in Slovakia. Let's jump right in. Number 10, Subpixel. Subpixel is one of those studios where the images feel quiet, controlled and confident, but never sterile. A big part of their visual language is natural light with a soft roll-off. Skies stay clean, shadows stay gentle, and the whole scene reads as calm and believable. Whether it's a sunny courtyard between residential blocks or a minimalist volume sitting in a vast open landscape. Composition-wise, they love clear geometry and strong depth, framed views through trees, long facades with rhythm, and wide shots where the environment does half the storytelling. And when they go real estate lifestyle, they do it with taste, warm sunsets, crisp reflections, and just enough life to sell the mood without tipping into cliché. On the interior side, it's all about materials and tactility. Warm wood, stone textures, crafted lighting, clean styling that feels curated rather than staged. Even hospitality scenes, bars, dining spaces, keep that same calm, sun-washed realism. Subpixel delivers polished ArchViz with a restrained modern European sensibility and a genuinely strong sense of atmosphere. One to watch. Number 9, La.vis. La.vis has a trust the architecture visual language. Their images don't impress with drama, they impress with restraint. A lot of it starts with the light. Soft, overcast skies, gentle contrast, and a very natural color grade. Even when they push toward dusk, it stays quiet and believable. Warm windows, cool atmosphere, the quality of real weather rather than a filter applied to the fact. They're also excellent at context. Buildings sit inside landscapes, not on top of them. Wild grasses, forest edges, stone walls, and genuine seasonal storytelling. From snowy resort scenes to summer courtyards and open meadows. The environment always feels like it was there first. Composition is clean and architectural, but never sterile. Foreground trees, layered depth, human-scale details, and just enough life to sell the space without tipping into lifestyle advertising. And the interiors match that same sensibility. Minimal, airy, Scandinavian leaning with light woods, neutral fabrics, and crisp daylight that makes every material feel tactile and real. La.vis is precise, grounded, and quietly premium. Number 8, Lumo Visual. Lumo Visual takes a super clean editorial approach to CGI, and the images show it immediately. They're not trying to demonstrate realism, they're composing it. The work feels like design photography, calm, confident, and very intentional. A big part of that comes from their handling of natural light and material honesty. Warm woods, tactile fabrics, and marble that reads like actual stone rather than a shader exercise. Framing is disciplined, often slightly off-center with strong verticals, layered foregrounds, and just enough depth of field to guide your eye without becoming a visual trick. And then they shift gears nicely. Alongside the serene residential interiors, you get moodier cinematic scenes with deeper contrast and a more atmospheric quality, plus product-style compositions with bold shapes and clean shadows. That range is what makes them interesting. Lumo can be quiet and minimal, but they can still deliver real impact when the project demands it. Number 7, Frostudio. Frostudio's work has a clean, confident realism that feels made for architects and developers who want believable over flashy. Their visual language starts with strong, simple compositions, big skies, crisp silhouettes, and generous breathing room around the building. In daylight shots, they lean into calm, natural lighting and well-observed planting that functions as atmosphere, not decoration. You can almost feel the season and the air temperature. Then they switch gears in the city scenes. Blue hour, wet asphalt, reflections, light trails, subtle motion blur. The architecture stays sharp, but the city feels genuinely alive. People are placed as a narrative tool, giving scale and a sense of daily rhythm, not filling space. They also go wide when the project calls for it, aerial master plans with readable geometry, clear circulation, and landscape that actually explains the design intent. And in the detail shots, they love structural honesty. Frostudio hits a sweet spot, polished enough for marketing, but grounded enough that it still reads like real architecture in a real place. Number 6. Idealarch. Idealarch builds images that feel effortlessly convincing, and it starts with how they handle mood. They move between bright, clean daytime shots with crisp sky gradients and calm contrast, and moody dusk and night scenes where warm interiors glow like lanterns against a darkening sky. The lighting is never just pretty, it's used to explain the project and its character. Composition-wise, they love clear geometry and readable silhouettes. Courtyards are framed with strong leading lines. Streetscapes sit at a comfortable eye level, and even larger master plans stay legible through atmospheric depth and carefully controlled haze. Nothing gets lost. Material language is equally disciplined. Brick, concrete, timber, and glass, rendered with restraint, not overstated. Landscapes feel lived in, with planting that's slightly wild and seasonal. People are kept small and natural, more like scale cues than characters. And then there's the lifestyle layer. Warm, tactile interiors with soft textiles, practical lighting, and those quiet moments around pools, terraces, and reflections that sell a calm, premium way of living. Idealarch is strongest when they keep it minimal and let light, proportion, and atmosphere do the work. Number 5. Surreal. Surreal makes architecture feel calm, precise, and quietly confident. Their images don't shout, they breathe. A lot of their work lives in soft daylight, clean skies, gentle contrast, and a palette that stays grounded. Warm wood, pale concrete, muted brick, and greens that feel real rather than digitally perfect. Even when the projects are bold, the framing stays disciplined, almost photographic, with strong horizontals, generous negative space, and human scale that actually reads. The atmosphere work is strong, snowy landscapes with razor-sharp silhouettes, courtyards that feel lived in, exteriors where planting and ground texture do as much storytelling as the building itself. And when they go interior, it's minimal but warm. Tactile materials, soft shadows, and compositions that guide your eye without trying too hard. Surreal's real strength is restraint. They make premium visuals by doing less, but doing it perfectly. Number 4. Morong. Morong is based in Trnava, Slovakia, and their images feel less like CGI and more like calm, carefully composed architectural photography. What stands out first is restraint, clean framing, plenty of breathing room, and a strong sense of hierarchy. They rarely reach for attention. Instead, the architecture sits naturally in its environment. Believable vegetation, soft atmospherics, and lighting that feels grounded in real weather and a real time of day. Their exterior work balances clarity and mood at the same time. Crisp silhouettes, subtle reflections, and materials that read instantly without looking over-sharpened. And when they go interior, the same discipline follows. Warm, natural light, tactile surfaces, and styling that supports the space rather than decorating over it. Morong's visual language is mature. It's not about effects, it's about trust. Images that help architects and clients feel like the project already exists. Number 3. Zore. Zore's visual language is built around calm confidence. Their images feel like architectural photography first and CGI second. Editorial composition, lots of breathing room, and a real sense of considered restraint. A big part of the look is in what they hold back. Soft skies, balanced contrast, color grading that stays natural instead of pushed. In exteriors, they favor wide, grounded viewpoints where landscape and architecture share the frame equally. Whether it's a pavilion tucked into nature, a quiet countryside scene, or a minimal cabin that leans into atmosphere and silence. Lighting is another signature: gentle golden hour warmth, soft overcast diffusion, and carefully controlled highlights on glass and metal that make materials read as believable rather than impressive. And when they go interior, the same philosophy holds: minimal styling, strong geometry, warm wood paired with dark stone, and sunlight used as a design element rather than a special effect. Zore is quietly premium. Disciplined framing, realistic light, and a consistent taste level that makes architecture feel real, not rendered. Number 2. Pictown. Pictown speaks architect fluently, and their range is what makes them stand out. They can do clean, confident daylight exteriors, crisp facades, balanced skies, generous breathing room, but they're at their best when the image carries a mood. Blue hour skylines with a calm, premium glow, rainy street scenes with reflections and movement, interior moments where lighting becomes the primary storytelling tool. There's also a strong competition visual sensibility running through the work. Big, expressive cultural buildings, atmosphere-heavy aerials, master plans that read clearly from a distance, and interiors that don't just show a design. They sell the spatial experience. Their deep blue underwater museum scene is a good example. Bold, cinematic, and not something you arrive at if you're only thinking in brochures. Pictown is good at translating architectural ideas into images that feel credible, lived in, and slightly cinematic, without losing clarity. That's a genuinely hard balance, and they hit it consistently. Number 1. Willbe. Willbe is one of those studios where you instantly feel this work was made for architects first. Their visual language is calm, restrained, and quietly confident. No flashy hero shots, no overproduced drama. Instead, they lean into everyday, believable moments. A quiet courtyard with tall grasses, a soft overcast street corner, a building framed through trees, an interior where natural light does most of the heavy lifting. The grading stays muted and airy, gentle grays, warm wood tones, and greens that feel genuinely real rather than digitally saturated. Composition is all about clarity, clean horizons, patient camera heights, and frames that give the architecture room to breathe. Even when the perspective gets dramatic, tall facade upshots, skyline towers, it still feels measured. Never loud, people are placed like punctuation marks. Small, natural, proving scale and life without ever stealing the scene. What I keep coming back to is how they treat landscape and atmosphere as design material. Wind in the grass, a slightly hazy sky, soft evening light, it all supports the concept instead of competing with it. If you want visuals that communicate intent, proportion, and mood with real taste, Willbe is top tier. Those were my top 10 architectural visualization studios in Slovakia. If you want to discover more great studios around the world, follow the channel and check out ArchVizBase.com, my curated database of more than 1,000 hand-picked ArchViz studios worldwide.